action in the Allies framework is I, including. This is another action that takes intentionality and awareness because in order to be inclusive, you must first recognize those that are left out. This action is best illustrated by the partners in the leadership of Insight, a global technology company. I want to introduce you to the Chief Financial Officer, Glynis Bryan, and her ally, Ken Lamnick, who is the former Chief Executive Officer for Insight. Glynis shared with me that part of her success was having a great partner in Ken. He made space for her at the table, an equal seat, which made her feel valued. Ken recognized the talent Glynis had, that she could do so much more than run the numbers as the CFO. As he enhanced her role, she excelled. Glynis said she was initially terrified by being included, but having that platform helped her see her gifts and abilities in a new way. She grew and she loved her new role. You can see so many of the Allies Framework actions in their story, but specifically, Ken included Glynis in two small ways that had great impact. First, Ken included Glynis by adding her to email communications she wasn't part of before. Second, he included her by encouraging team members to run it by Glynis first. Those little intentional actions reinforced Glynis's role in the company. Even more than that, Ken consistently asked Glynis for her opinion, and others knew he would expect them to ask her before they brought him anything. Ken was motivated to include Glynis by the talent he saw in her, but he also called it the right thing to do. Ken saw his role as a leader was to foster an inclusive culture on the leadership team where every voice was heard and every opinion mattered. Ken said that his inclusive approach meant that there was no rank in a meeting. Everyone had an equal voice. The only requirement was that everyone spoke. He didn't want any spectators. Everyone was included. When they disagreed, he encouraged everyone to voice their opinions. But once a decision was made, it became a consensus. He says they all had to own the decision. Ken's leadership produced a strong culture and organizational success. So how do you ensure you're being inclusive? Look around your team, organization, and the meetings that you're in, and take mental note of whether everyone who should be represented is present. If that's not the case, identify the missing individuals and invite them to join you, or propose that the meeting be postponed until all members of the team can participate. When you walk into a meeting, a team, or a group, seek out those not sharing their ideas and work to include them in the conversation. Look around the room and encourage everyone to contribute. When someone does speak up, demonstrate that their opinion matters. If you walk into a meeting and someone is taking up too much space, while others are relegated to the corners of the table, or even worse, to the chairs behind the chairs at the table, take note and suggest that everyone move a bit to allow everyone to join the conversation. Another way to work with intention to include allies is to go out of your way to invite colleagues in informal meetings that happen over lunch or drinks where they may not feel comfortable inviting themselves. Acts to include someone tend to be small and subtle. I remember one instance where I was asked to join Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, and his direct reports for an executive review. I was unsure of protocol and where to sit, so I took a seat behind the main round table when I came in. Satya turned to me and said, "Please take the seat next to me." This was a very powerful act of inclusion. As you can see, including isn't important for just allies. Good leaders include, which isn't difficult, but it won't happen without an intentional eye on who is missing from the conversation, who is remaining silent, and who is not getting the opportunity to shine. Great leaders know that including someone in a way that seems small can have a great impact.